Good morning, friends. So today we are going to talk about our recent pilgrimage to Kailash and Manas Sarovar. Pilgrimage is an attempt to feel closer to God by traveling some distance. Generally, the places of pilgrimage can be the birthplace of incarnations of God, prophets, and saints. It can also be holy places, the temples. It can also be the places associated in the history, immemorable, where people have poured their reverence and devotion. It may neither be a temple or a holy place, a birthplace of any great spiritual personality. It may be easy of access. It may be very difficult to reach. Kailash and Manas Sarovar is the one of later type, which is not associated with the birth of any great spiritual personality, which is not easy to access at all, which is situated in a very difficult terrain, but has been a place of holiness and sacredness for time immemorial. We don't know when this place became supposed to be holy and sacred. Hearing about Kailash from very childhood as the abode of Lord Shiva, who is the creator, preserver, and who absorber of this universe, which is often described as destroyer. Why we worship one who destroys? It depends on us what we think he destroys. For a devotee, he doesn't destroy the person. He destroys the sins, difficulties, problems, worries, and grants peace and immortality. That is the Shiva we worship. After all, destruction of this creation is inevitable one day. Who does that? From where that energy comes? That energy is same as the energy which created this universe. That is Shiva, ultimate source of this universe. And what after all is destruction is? Destruction is something not that annihilates. Destruction is going back to that source, and that is Shiva. Shiva is the source of this universe and also goal of this universe. He is the source of our life and goal of our life. That Shiva, where to be found? Where is his greatest manifestation? In the famous temples, holy temples, Vishwanatha, Rameshwaram, Pasupatinatha, all those are famous temples where Shiva is manifested, Somanatha temple. But the greatest manifestation of Shiva is supposed to be in Kailash. Often in the legends that this is the abode of Shiva. Shiva lives there. Shiva is so close to our heart, so close to this manifested universe. The places of Vishnu, abode of Vishnu is just thought to be Vaikuntha, and that is not terrestrial, that's beyond this earth. Where Vaikuntha is, we don't know. But Shiva is so close, he is on this earth. Kailasa is on this very earth of ours. Shiva is so close to us, his creation. So, hearing about Kailash, the abode of Shiva, very difficult from childhood to hear Kailashapati. desire came in me also, faint wish that if Kailash could be visited, right from very childhood. But it was a very faint wish. When I grew and heard Swami the far out visiting Kailash, oh, maybe I also could one day go, but not that strong. This your wishes need to be fire, to get desire to really take the plunge into the action of fulfilling your desire. When I came to Canada and started speaking to people, going to Kailash needs your vacation and also it needs money. Monks don't have it. It's quite a lot of sum, like 100,000 rupees. For a monk to spend 100,000 rupees in India, it's not for every monk can do that. They need to have some support in devotees. When I came to Canada, many people suggested, when I said about Kailash, that I could visit, they will afford, they will support my travel. Not only that, they said, we will accompany you. It started from 4 or 5 persons. And it was never advertised. And after that, many devout Shiva Bhaktas or devotees of God came forward. And they said, Swami, I heard that you are going, could we go? I said, yes, of course you can go. Like that, we are slowly gathering the number of people. It spread from Canada to United States, to US, and to even Nepal. So in our team, there were total 31 devotees, pilgrims from Canada, United States, India, and Nepal. My journey started on just after Guru Purnima, from worshipping Guru who paves the way to God. The very next day I flew to India via Finland and reached Belmont on 25th of August. In Belmont, after offering pranam to Sri Ramakrishna and seeking his blessing, and Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda himself, we feel all they are living there very much. God lives everywhere, but we feel His presence at certain particular places. So you feel Sri Ramakrishna is very much living in Belmont. It's not that Sri Ramakrishna is not in Toronto or he is not present in this very shrine. He is very much present. But Swami Vivekananda said, Sri Ramakrishna had once said that wherever you take me on your shoulder and keep me, I will stay there. And when he was taking the ashes of Sri Ramakrishna to Belmont to install, he remembered this and he said, Sri Ramakrishna had said, and now I bring him on your head and shoulder, and I put him here in this holy land of Belmont. He will be there for many, many years, thousands of years to bless humanity. So we believe in that and feel Sri Ramakrishna is there. Taking the blessings of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda, who is supposed to be of the Shiva incarnate, Shiva Swarupa Sri Rama, Sri Swami Vivekananda, we say how beautiful was the instruction that was read today about Swami Vivekananda being dressed up as Shiva. Swami Vivekananda is described both ways. People felt he is Shiva, people felt he is Buddha. Many people in his face, without even dressed up like Buddha, people felt he looks like Buddha by his very eyes, the way he walks, the way he talks. There was a lot of similarity with Buddha and with knowledge of Shiva. Buddha's heart and Shiva's knowledge combined together becomes Swami Vivekananda. Then I proceeded to Nepal on 27th of August. And going Nepal, we have recently established a center of the Ramakrishna mission there. 1 year ago, this picture you see is Ramakrishna Ashram Nepal, it is called, as we call the Vedanta Society of Toronto here. And the Swami in charge there is working very hard in this country where people are not rich, the newly started center. Still devotees have to come forward to support the system, and yet the service-oriented programs like medical care, charitable dispensary has already been opened, there's mobile book sales, there's the bookstore, service of Sri Ramakrishna, puja, songs, every Saturday gathering. Why Saturday? Saturday is the official holiday of Nepal. It's not Sunday like in other countries. So beautiful country, very small landlocked country. When we flew through the mountains, you could see the Himalayas. When we flew from Calcutta to Kathmandu, the whole mountain range could be visible. And they say you can even see the Mount Everest on the flight, if you are lucky enough. So after landing, the green, well-cultivated terraced cultivation, the views valley, it was a nice sight to see. We went straight to the Ramakrishna ashram. I stayed there, and it was planned that we had to give my passport, Indian passports needed 4 days in advance of travel. So on the 28th, they had to be sent to India for getting Chinese visa. So every the pilgrim that went for this pilgrimage needed a Chinese visa. For Indian passport holders, it has to be processed in New Delhi. For Canadian, US and Nepalese passport holders, it could be processed in Nepal. That is the Chinese system. So my passport had to be sent, and it was sent by the travel agent that were conducting our travel. It was EcoTrek Nepal. That was the name of the tour operator. I'll talk about the tour operators. Then, after staying here for 2 days, then I went to the hotel. The hotel's name is also nice. It's Holy Himalaya Hotel. So, Holy Himalaya Hotel we stayed, and they turned out to be very nice people. It is owned by the tour operator, EcoTrek, and they were very helpful in our tour as well as in our stay in hotel. And next day, on 31st of August, one day before, we had to march on a journey for Kailash. They gave us tour to Hindu shrine and Buddhist shrine. Nepal's, they say, it's 2 main religions of Nepal, it's Hinduism and Buddhism. Although Hinduism outnumbers the Buddhists, Hinduism outnumbers the Buddhists, but both live in very great harmony. Always it has been that Hindus and Buddhists live in great harmony in all countries. They are both very peace-loving religions. And we went first to Pashupatinath, the most famous temple of Shiva there, having 4 faces. Shiva is in every place is worshipped in a Shiva linga, but very few places you have the Shiva, face of Shiva done. Panchabhaktram Trinetram, that is it is there said. So Shiva here is Panchabhaktram, having in fact not 4 faces, 5 faces. Panchabhaktram is 5 faces. So I asked one person, where are the 5 faces? There are 4 we can see from 4 doors. They say one is at the top of the linga, it's like Shiva linga, like a relief of faces, Panchabhaktram, and every bhakta, every face will have 3 eyes, Panchabhaktram Trinetram. They don't allow to take picture inside the temple, so this is the gate of the temple. This is the door of Pashupatinath. You can see the Om written there in Devanagari script. Nepalese also write their language in Devanagari along with Sanskrit, Hindi and Marathi. For these ethnic groups, they use Devanagari to write their language. This is the Shiva temple, the door below is the main door. You will find Bhairava, something like on the side of the door. And then we enter and offer our prayers in the group. The tour operator took us in a group by bus, and we spent a lot of time, about 1 hour inside the temple, seeing various things. So what we saw beside the Shiva, let me show you. This is, you see, we are going to a group picture. This is the small group that we have. You can see some of the faces that we can see here today also, they are here. And this is all on the way to Pashupatinath temple. Pashupatinath temple is on the bank of river Bagmati, which is considered to be holy. It's like Ganga of Nepal. Here, cremation is done on these places. It's on the opposite side of the Bagmati. On this side, where a person is with umbrella, he is the one. On this side is the cremation ground, and just above that is the temple of Pashupatinath. On other side also there are about more than 12 or 14 temples there, small temples. As we see in the Dakshineshwar Shiva temples, there are also small temples on the other bank of Bagmati. This is just below the Shiva temple on the bank of Bagmati, just near there when the person was with the umbrella, near him. So this is something you don't find in other places. When you ask what is this, they said it is Kali. Not Kalki Avatara, but Kali himself is worshipped like that. And what is the significance? They have the faith that as the Kali advances in time, Kali is this age which is very difficult. There are four aged great epochs in Hinduism: Sattva, Treta, Dwapara and Kali. Sattva people are supposed to be very good, and that the goodness, the dharma of the people declines as they advance, and Kali is supposed to be where people follow very less dharma, they're very, people are not very good, they are not very honest, not very truthful. This is a hard time, it's called the Iron Age. So golden, silver, copper and iron, four types of ages of the history. It's one kalpa. After all this finishes, again sattva comes. So when sattva will come? When will people be honest, loving, kind, truthful, following dharma? When will be that? When Kali ends. So when Kali ends, Nepalese have their own theory. They say, you see this image, stone image, it's just coming up from the ground and it is growing. And when it will fully come up, then the Kali will end and Sattva will prevail. Sattva Yuga will come. But many people say in their lifetime they have not seen it growing at all. It is as it is. It is not that in their lifetime or in 50 years, 100 years or 200 years Kali is going to finish. We don't know when Kali is going to finish. After having Shiva darshan, then we went to Buddha temple. This is Buddha stupa, the biggest stupa in Nepal. And stupa is the shrine of Buddha, but there is no Buddha, there is no inside you can go. It's just a mound of earth decorated with these eyes. Only the belief is that Buddha is looking all over the creation. And this represents Buddha. This is our symbol. We'll find the Kailash also like that. So after seeing the Buddha stupa, on the 1st of, this was on 31st of August, the 31st of July. I think I made a mistake. We went here from 25th of July and we went to Nepal. I went to Nepal on 27th of July and 31st of July. We went for pilgrimage at Pashupatinath, Bhutanath, and this is the 1st of August. We are going now Kailash. The Kailash travel starts from the hotel at 5:30 in the morning, early in the morning. And then we are taken by bus through a road which passes through the Kathmandu valley and then goes to mountainous region. And then in the roads on the mountainous region, there are some places just a landslide, you know that huge rain come just for a few months, which devastated Kedar and Kedarnath and Gangotri, those areas. So its effect was there in Nepal also, something. It was not totally devastated, but it had its impact on this road also. So there was landslides, there was repair, so roads were not that very great. It was bumpy, and we went through that road, and on this, whatever the road was, but the scenery was so magnificent, you forget everything. That just before that, you had a big jump on your seat in the bus. It crossed through some ditch or some mound. You see this beautiful river flowing, and this is the scene of beautiful Nepal. Another scene. Small houses, big mountains, big trees, all green. And they have this cultivation called terrace cultivation in the mountain, and they grow paddy, very green and beautiful. The Kathmandu city itself was very dusty in some places when we went, but this village side was beautiful, you see, just you can see. This river is it's called Koshi River. It's called Ghote Koshi River. Very Himalayas river, flowing very fast because of the rain. And it was really raining a lot during that time also. And the proof of rain is this beautiful falls on the way where we are going. Now, after traveling for about 6 hours, whole day travel, we reach the border. We have to get down by bus and change the bus, cross the border from Nepal to China in Tibet, and then take the Chinese bus with the Chinese guide. Of course, we'll have the Nepalese troop, 8 in number. They are carrying everything for us, right from stove, cooking pots, big cooking pots, the articles for cooking, like we'll find what they supply to us. And then they even carried water for drinking to us for these so many days, 10 days, for this big group. So we got down there. I had one monk, brother monk from Belur Math. His name is Surajit Maharaj, Swami Kripamayananda. We go to the Nepalese customs and we cross there. They all made visa. They printed there our thing. We take the passport and everything done by the tour operators. We didn't have to even go to the customs. This is the Chinese custom you see from Nepal side. Very developed, big houses. Again in the custom area, the photography is totally not allowed. It's now we are in the Chinese side. You can see that now they have the nicer roads, their wealth, their prosperity all showing on there even from when we enter there. We are passing through Chinese borders. Now there are big buses. You can see how congested the roads are. Just 2 buses to fill the roads. For our final destination that day, on 1st of August, is Nyalam, a town, hilly town, but quite developed, quite clean. But from 4,000 feet in Kathmandu, we reached 12,000 feet in Nyalam. 3 times more height, and that was showing in our breathing system. We're feeling very difficult to breathe. That is the one challenge of Kailash, breathing problem. How? Because of high altitude. And the problem can be that severe that there may be clotting in the brain, in the blood vessels. We may go to the brain and we may die. So death because of high altitude is not uncommon among the pilgrims going to Kailash. It's a very challenging trip. The city of Nyalam. We stayed there on 1st of August, and the 2nd of August we had to have a trek and acclimatization in the high altitude. And they took us, after breakfast, they took us to a mountain there for climbing. And that was a big challenge for us. City of Nyalam. These are the Chinese shops. You can see the right mountain there. We stayed in Snowland Hotel, very nice hotel inside. Didn't have, this is all the hotel. And these are the bags they're carrying, these are the bags where we had our things. Each person having one duffel bag. The city from the hill, the this is almost the aerial view. Now we are trekking on the 2nd of August. We are going up on a mountain, roadless, very difficult to step. Even one step, breathlessness. Many people thought they cannot do. Some thought that I have to go back. But in our group, in one day of our stay, of our going together, we had become so friendly with each other. People started helping, inspiring. Yes, you can go. I can pull you. Don't go back, like that thing. This is the hiking for acclimatization and practice. We thought that people were just practicing, but in fact our tour operator, that group, was observing us how much we can climb and to find out whether we can do our parikrama full or not. So this is the mountain that we are climbing, and there is no road. It was loose stone. We get tired after 4 or 5 steps and have to sit on this thing again and again. This Swami was very strong. He walked all this parikrama. Where we had gone, I had gone on pony and many of us gone. He and few others were so strong that they walked in this high altitude around Mount Kailash. You can imagine, see how tired we were after climbing for 2 hours in that high altitude, all flat. And someone was saying, it was not only becoming flat and trying to catch the breath and having a little rest. We were, but the day was a little cloudy, that's why I couldn't stay. These two were of the 8, their portrait tree, very nice. The Deepak on the left side was so good. He was able to serve and cook and do and pack and carry everything he used to do. He was so friendly that when we didn't want to eat in this high altitude, sometimes tired, sometimes vomiting, he said, "Khana padega, nahi kaise hoga?" In the broken Hindi he used to speak it very sweetly, so sweet and generous they were. We felt very nice. The person on the right, left car, when one person couldn't get down when climbing down in Dolmala, he carried that old lady on his back and put her down 5 kilometers and put her down on the ground. And this person is a summiter, Mount Everest summiter. He has climbed Mount Everest. Left car comes from just base of the Mount Everest called Solu Khumbu. This is the terrain, Tibetan mountains. You can see no trees. We saw tree on first. After that, no trees would be seen for 10 days. It's all barren land like that, little green patches, that much. That is what the Tibet is. It's a rugged beauty, they say. That's the beauty of green grass, green forests, and these rivers and all those things. There were a lot of rivers. But this is also a beauty, as it is in Australia. Swami Sridharananda used to say, this Canada is very beautiful with all greens and the Rockies and the lakes. Australia is also beautiful, but it's beauty with desert and this thing, and we call it rugged beauty. So I learned this term from you. This is the Tibetan landscape. Now, on the second we were there. On the 3rd of August, then we started moving. After breakfast, we all got into the 4 land cruisers, 1 bus. That was our vehicle. All 30% were accommodated. People from US and Canada were accommodated in land cruisers because they pay more. And Indian passport holders, they pay a little less, and we were given a bus together. But the irony is, people on the land cruiser wanted to come in the bus. It was so comfortable and luxurious bus. They said, "I want to go in the bus." Then we said, "No, you can't. It's for us Indian passport holders." This is the bus that we went through, and this is near the Chinese checkpost. There was in between on the road, there is the checkpost. Just see the roads. They have made fantastic road. Chinese have made, there are 2 things very nice. Road, you can see, beautiful road, and the telecommunication. I'll talk about telecommunication later. Excellent. In this place where there is sparse population, the roads were excellent. You see the roads, and people were just standing there taking pictures. This is one of the high area after we pass Nalam, which is the 12,000 feet. This is called Lalung Pass. It's at the height of 16,500 feet. They said we'll stop there for 10 minutes. You go, come out, see the place, and get into the bus. And we have to start bus within 10 minutes. Otherwise, you may have physical breathing problems in that high altitude. People feel even without walking, even inside the bus, if it is that high altitude, there may be problem. That day was so beautiful, none of us had any problem. The people who had problem in Nyalam the previous day, they were also very healthy and well and smiling because of very good weather we had. And that all these things, by the Shiva's grace, took us forward. There were some shops at that place. Someone said, Swami, you stand, I'll take a picture of the background of the Himalayas. You see the road. Swami and myself and another one of our team members. You'll find these prayer flags at passes. Wherever there is something holy, something difficult, they will all put the prayer flag. That's the Tibetan culture. This is the check post. Poor people, when bus stopped at the check post, many came for seeking some money, something someone gave. And there were so many, I thought of giving someone, and I put my hand in my pocket. I had some one unit of their coin called yung. One yung, I had coins, notes of 1 yung, like 1 rupee or $1. It is like 1/6 of a dollar in value. When I was going to give, I found about 20 of them. Then I couldn't do anything. But that person, that little boy or girl, he or she could find that I had some intention to give, and she was going behind me. And I said, if I give one, there will be 20 who will be asking. So I had to refrain from doing that for practical reasons. On the way, we found sand dunes. Like you see the beach, you see big sand places, and one of our devotees, when she went there, she was in fact going down in the sand. It was quicksand. Another devotee came and she put. All sand dunes. This is our group going, one of the person of the group, flanked by the Swami, two sides. Always they say, Swami, you stand, we'll take a picture, so that those have come. It's not advertising as much, but the devotee said, the people sometimes live in the tent like this, and with a Tibetan lady, with a small, cute Tibetan boy, small eyes, very sweet, and the photograph they've taken. This is one lake on the way called Lake Pichiko. Now you can say this very nice moment for us having lunch. They prepared lunch before leaving, our tour operators. They almost worked very early in the morning. They got up, prepared lunch for us, prepared breakfast, fed us, cleaned the pots, packed the things, and they used to start. Night time they used to work very hard, but they were so jovial and happy persons. So we had lunch. You can see the river on in front, that is river Brahmaputra. And what was the food? You can see. The chow means, the vegetables, and served hot, very hot. And fruits and also sweets. You see, we are all enjoying. This is the check post, Chinese check post, where we are not allowed to take photo. Somewhere near the Chinese check post on the way, you find Chinese statues made like this. So there are statues like this. When I entered first into the Chinese border in Nepal, just after Nepal, I found on two sides there was like this, one side in this uniform, one lady and one gentleman standing. And I found this very nice statue they have made. Well, after some time the big eyes, that was not statue, that was a real person standing still. They say about Madame Tussauds, that Swami Lokeshwaran described that when they went to Madame Tussauds, so he found that, oh, how will you buy ticket? There's so much crowd there in London. So the friend was taking, they said, no, Swami, it's just semblance. It's just they have made it is just made artist creation, statue. You could people putting hand in the thing, and crowded, someone hanging like this, all look so real, made of wax. And inside he goes and says, oh, so nice this thing is standing, and this statue is also beautiful, how beautiful they were, and they blinks later on. So it was real. Very difficult to find what is real and what is just this statue. The Chinese village, this Tibetan village. This is again near the monastery. In the 3rd of August, we stayed in a place called Longba, at the altitude of 14,400 feet, almost 14,500 feet. So it's high altitude. They gave us option whether we want to stay at 14,200 feet or 14,500 feet. So 14,200 feet was better for us, less altitude, but they said you will get less oxygen there, it is in a valley, it is crowded, it is dirty, it's called Saga, bigger city, Dongba at higher altitude, but you will get more oxygen. Really they suggested very well. We went into a monastery there in Dongba, it's called Dratun Monastery, and we met some workers who were returning from there, and Indians are always very friendly. You see how we made friendship with them and started talking with them and requested them for photograph, and they agreed with all their space and all those things. And how they work in that high altitude, the road condition, this is very common, the truck through which they carry the things, you can see the fluttering Chinese flag. These two persons, one on the right is Saroj, who was our guide in charge. On the left is Loka. Both were very good experience. They have done Kailash for about 100 times perhaps, done parikrama. And very good guide, and they suggested many things. So Swami asked that person to return back. Swami, don't let him go. And they used to take very good care of ours. Really, we were very happy with them. We have not yet come to Kailash, but this is 1152. So, this is the monastery where you find Buddha's picture. And in Tibetan monastery, it is not only Buddha, there are other saints. Like Buddha is like Shiva for us. You find Bhairava. You see terrible pictures. In the Syrian Buddha, there are terrible associates of Buddha called Bhairava. They are in Hinduism, they are Bhairava, associates of Shiva. You find such pictures in Nepal also. But they have to ward off our evil spirits and support human beings. Buddha in different forms and some saints. On the way we see that such sights, horse grazing, green grass, it was rainy season, but the mountains you can see it's all very rocky. The rivers flowing, beautiful scenes you see, this is the landscape of Tibet. Then finally on 4th of August, after staying in Longba, we go for Manas Sarovar. And at about 3 o'clock we reach the place, Manas Sarovar. There we have to leave the bus that we are doing and our land cruisers and have to go by a eco bus, they say. And we have to go through one checkpost. It falls in different state of Tibet, different province of Tibet. So we have to go through a checkpost. Let's see this is standard of the checkpost here. Just see, it's like looks like any big airport of a very advanced city. A checkpost as Manas Sarovar, inside the checkpost. Inside the checkpost they have the characters of Ganesha, the panel, glass panel, Om written in Devanagari, and Shiva's image over there. We could call to our people, this is the eco bus they call. All of us went into the bus, 31 of us. From here, Manas Sarovar, we can see the first vision of Kailash. It was very thrilling, for which we have been dreaming for years together. The dream had intensified as we went on advance and we came. When we planned 3 years ago to go to Kailash, it was a very wonderful sight and we felt that we have achieved our goal. Kailash from Manas Sarovar, wonderful sight. Kailash is the symbol of Shiva and Manas Sarovar is symbol of Parvati, Shiva's consort. extremely holy. Manasarovar had different colors of water, blue, green, white, etc. If the sunshine and this thing is okay, then you can see even you can see the reflection of Kailash on Manasarovar. You couldn't see that side. This is Rakshastal, just beside the Manasarovar, separated by even a half kilometer or 1 kilometer of land. There is another big lake, but this is called Rakshasa lake, the demon lake. And Manasarovar is Parvati, the god, holy, sacred. And they said it is unholy, unsacred. You should not touch even the water of this. I will let to people who are taking this, so I will get you down, let you get down, and you see this, but don't go near that, because someone tried to touch it. It is so unholy that people died after that. So they were like scaring. Maybe they really believed that, or maybe they didn't want us to spend more time there, so that we go to hotel. We don't want to leave it. But they say it is saltwater lake. It is connected with the Manasarovar through a rivulet channel. Manasarovar is freshwater lake. Here nothing grows, it's that thing. And legend says this was created by the sweat of Ravana when he was trying to persuade Shiva to go with him to Sri Lanka. So he was doing tapasya. In tapasya it gave him heat, and he was so heated, his body became, he started sweating, and from his sweat is created this Rakshasa Tala, from the sweat of Ravana. Those are the legends. But it is salt water. Then went to, on the other one end of this Manasarovar lake, we went to this hotel. Looks so beautiful from outside, but inside was a room where there were 7 beds in one room, all beds touching each other, no place there, and there was no proper toilet. Another problem, besides the high altitude, another problem in Kailash Manasarovar pilgrimage is the toilet. We don't have proper toilet. We took bath few days in this same day when we were in Kailash. This is the beautiful view from the hotel itself. We could have this view of Kailash. It's the south face of Kailash. They said these are the steps which lead to heaven. Those are all the things. Kailash mountain has never been scaled. It's not that people didn't try to scale. From 1926 onwards, people have been trying to scale it. Somehow it was thwarted. And in 1980, Chinese government even gave permission to one person to scale mountain Kailash. That person somehow declined. In as late as 2001, Chinese government gave permission to one Spanish climber, and he was going to do, but international hue and cry made them stop. But they were pursuing that, why can't you stop that? Now they don't do that. But for Tibetans, it is very extremely holy. We asked one Tibetan, have anyone scaled it? They said, no, nobody can scale it. We will not allow. Suppose someone scales it, what he will do? He tries to go up. He said, we will shoot them. They were very stern on this. Manasarovar, you see the beautiful holy lake of our dreams. People praying, offering water to ancestors and to God. On Manasarovar we had one homa with rituals. People are chanting different mantras, full of devotion. It was a sunny day, and from here, sitting here, I remember someone in Toronto, and said, I said, let me call if I can find connection with them. I text them, I am here on Manasarovar, can you call me back? That was the condition that Chinese SIM card, that telephone that gave us. They said, you can send 100 texts for 100 yuan, but you can't call outside. But if they call you back, incoming call is unlimited. Outgoing text is 100 in number. So I text them, can you call? Call came from here. It was evening night here. And he said, we are at the Manasarovar. I tried to share my feelings with them. And they had provided some mats and some folding buckets and folding jerrycans. It was so helpful in our trip that I said there. Just see the communication, how beautiful telecom they have made. This is all about the Homa. This garden of marigold flowers were all taken by the devotees, and the woods and the key and the bilwa leaves all were taken. This is the group on the bank of Manasarovar. So after doing puja and homa, we went back to the hotel and there was lunch. Very tasty. And what we had in the lunch, you see next picture. this is it. Everything you can imagine is that. Manas Sarovar at 15,000 feet, nowhere, no locality there, and they give us hot dal and curry and rice, everything steaming hot with rasagullas. You can see these white bowls, rasagullas. Can you imagine people getting rasagulla in that area? So it was very nice day. We were all full of devotion, and after we have a lot of devotion, we need something for a stomach to eat. After puja, we need prasad. So this was like prasad. It was food offered, but this was really that gave us so much joy. There is always a dessert, fruits, etc. While doing Manas Sarovar Parikrama, we found another truck that workers playing. This is inside the bus. I said luxury bus. People all wanted to go into it. This is the after Manas Sarovar. After having lunch, we went to a place called Darchen, which is the last the bus can go. So this is the hotel that they gave us. It was newly built, small, temporary structure, but it was comfortable. Toilets were not attached, and there was no really good toilet. There was no bedding place at all, no shower taking. You see, in that hotel in Darchen, at the height of 15,200 feet. Inside the Darchen, that hotel, we shop. These are the beds, quite clean, nice beds. I don't know if they should wash it or not. It has to be new, then it is clean. Otherwise, it will be dirty. From Darchen, the next day, we had to go Kailash Parikrama. That is a very important part of the pilgrimage. Few people opted for walking, and some can go on horse. And earlier people used to go on yak backs. Yak back is very difficult. Horseback was also difficult. I went on horse, but you see, you have to sit for a long time, like 6-7 hours, with your legs separated by the body of the horse, and it's very painful. You can imagine how painful it will be for sitting for 6 hours with your leg not in normal position. These are the yaks. The yaks were still used to carry our food and other items, luggage. Before going on parikrama, before riding the horse, at that place where we left the bus, there is this small shrine called Yamadwara, the door of Yama, the door of the god of death. That is it. So one should go through that, and then only we go for parikrama. Why is god of death before there? I think it is to say that you have already whatever karma you had done, bad karma, which would take you to the Yama, is already finished there. You have entered Yama. Now Yama's work is finished. Now you are purified and you go for parikrama. This is Yamadwara, just beginning of the parikrama on foot or on horse. Swami coming out of the dwara. We enter through one door and come out of the door. Then we walk like this, go on the pony or go on the walk. We have one porter, we have one horse saish, or horseman or woman, and we go for a walk. Very painful. One of us just fell down from the horse, back. Fell down, whole body on the ground, gravel and sand and boulder, and right leg on the horse stirrup still there, and horse was dragging him. But later we found nothing happened to him, not even a small scratch. He wears spectacles and had above the spectacles were the sunglasses, and neither the sunglass was broken nor he had any scratch anywhere. So who was protecting him? How he was protected? As if he came on the lap of Shiva or Divine Mother, whatever you say, always protected. That's how Yamadwara might have done, or bad karma gone. On the way to closer to Kailash. This is all the way closer to Kailash. You find the rivers on the way, little green patches, but the rocks and mountains are all rugged and without any vegetation. On the way to Kailash. People go to Kailash mostly on Purnima, and we chose to go there on Amavasya. We had many benefits because of that. Amavasya is a very holy day for devotion to God. Holy Mother Kali is worshipped on Amavasya. Diwali is on Amavasya day, and it is the day of sadhana. And we had other benefit from that. There were no other people, only we were there, so we could get the best of accommodation in the place. On the way, this Tibetan Four people, they find this Kailash very holy: Hindus, Buddhists, two more other religionists, the Jains and Bon. There is one Tibetan religion called Bon. So Hindus and Buddhists, they circumambulate on the right side, Bon and Jains from the left side. The Bons and some Buddhists, they do a great thing where they don't walk or they don't go on a pony, but they prostrate every stage. They will sit down, kneel down, then they prostrate fully, touch the ground with the hand, stretch hand, make a mark with the hand, then kneel, then get up, and then crawl to that mark, and from that mark again prostrate there. Like that, they will do the whole parikrama, 52 kilometers of this mountains parikrama. It will take them for about a month. You see, this person is doing that sort of parikrama, prostrated parikrama. You see how did they do? And after getting tired, they have to eat food. Tibetan pilgrims. On the way, we saw yaks in the river, grazing, a lot of goats and sheep. That is their economy. This is the road that we traveled. These are the mountains that we see on the way to Parikrama. We are approaching near the place called Derapuk. From Derapuk, when I came there, the horseman said, you can get down. They don't understand Hindi or English. You can't communicate with them, only through sign language. Good, bad, okay, that much they know. And we got down there. On the way, we experienced rain and hailstorm. I was on the horseback. And when I needed raincoat, which was the porter was lying behind. Then how did I get? We got wet, I got dry, everything happened. When I reached there, the horseman said, get down. The another Tibetan said, see there. And I see, and Kailash is very close to my hand, as if I can touch. And it was the fulfillment of our dream and those wishes. And you can see the Kailash. This is the hotel we stayed in Derapuk. Derapuk is the highest, one of the highest altitude there. It is situated at 16,000 feet. Very difficult to breathe. For some people, we were checked oxygen level and we found some had like 65. They were advised you cannot go further. Some opted to go back because after that you cannot have this region of Himalayas. I also opted to come back after this to Darchen, but 8 of us come back and rest went further, the further heights. Horsemen had these tents, we were in the hotel. Here is the place which we can see the north face of Kailash and a beautiful vision. Nowhere else you can see Kailash so closely. And you can see the black Kailash, you see stone. If it is little rain, it's shown there and it becomes all white. We saw this beautiful image, and you see the yam-like figure there. And some say it stands for Mahadeva, some say it's for Maheshwara. But some of them said who had not had any non-veg food for that, and they remembered McDonald's. On the Kailash top, you can see Sheshanaga, Shiva wears snake. Whatever you imagine, you can find there. Eyes of Shiva, eyes of Parvati, Ganesha's trunk. You can see many things there. Just you have to have the vision of devotion. Sheshanaga at the top, or Kailash pictures from very close range. Even often one can go too close to Kailash, but that day when raining you can go and touch the ground. But many people don't want to go so that it becomes safe. This is the next morning, the weather becomes clear, you have a still clearer view of Kailash, but it's all snow, it's white now, because it rained heavily at that night. Myself and 8 others were coming back, and the rest of the team is proceeding forward. To a very high altitude, they have to cross a height called at 18,500 feet. Very high altitude, breathing trouble for that thing. This place is called Dolma La or Dolma Pass. It's very difficult terrain. Going even pony, after that 5 kilometers, everyone has to walk down. Pony cannot carry them, pony will follow them. But if they ride on pony, they will fall down. This is the terrain they have to cross at the Dolma La. Very difficult. and one of the ladies, as I told you, couldn't walk even, breathing trouble. It felt that as if this is the last moment of my life, I'm going to die. And then, this is the thing, at Dolmala they were crossing, the snow, rocks and the slopes. You see the path that we walk, the people walk through. Snow deposited and they had to cross this. This Sujit Maharaj, Swami Mahatapananda. This is the holy lake just after Dolmala called Gauri Kund at that height. You'll find one Gauri Kund before going to Kedar also, but it is different. You see, then they saw this vision, and they will stay in a place called Juthulpuk at the height of 15,600 feet. They stayed in this hotel in Juthulpuk. Next day, on 8th, they had to wake up. The sky had become golden with sunlight, and morning they started and come and meet us at Derapuk. These were on the scene of on 8th, by coming to Derapuk. This is not Mount Kailash. Returning from Juthulpuk to Derapuk, about 5 kilometers distance, and then finally they come to the place where they will get into bus and leave the horses, and we all went there to receive them. I went from Darchen to receive them. They have arrived at Darchen, finishing the parikrama of 3 days of Kailash. The things were carried in yacht, and this is the bus. From Darchen, after having the meals, again there was a walk for Ashtapad or Ashtaparvat. And this is the way we are walking, is from Darchen. It was about, they said it's about 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers. And when we walked we felt it is total going and coming was about 12 kilometers. This is where we are walking. Here you see, when we arrived at that place we wanted to go, is the Mount Kailash, half hidden, and another place like the trunk, like the chest, here you see, that is called Nandi, the Shiva's vehicle, the old bull. Nandi at Ashtapad. From the top, while Ashtapad, we take a picture of Darchen town. This is the Darchen town, prayer flags. While coming back, we saw many heads of yak. This is holy for them and they preserve it. You see, this stony thing is called Torchen or something, that temple-like thing. This is the town. Then next day we start for back to our pilgrimage ends, and we have to go to a place called Saga, quite long distance. We start early in the morning after breakfast, and then had a lunch here, in a place called Paryam. On the way, this hills are not that big, but we found one landslide. So after landslide was done, our bus stopped. We had to reach after having lunch, we had to reach to border that day. So it was difficult if we had to stop the bus here. So it would be late and border would be closed. So some of us came out and started removing stone. After that, one of the devotees, pilgrim says, of one of our groups says, actually Swami, what happened, I had prayed to God that if I could see landslide, I have not seen. Then he didn't say the bus, otherwise he would have got big crash. But that person, that lady herself went and they started cleaning the stones. This is the town where we stayed at night, and they said, Swami, we'll give you in the hotel in Saga, where you'll have shower. You'll have individual room with shower. It should be hotel expensive. We'll arrange for that. And when we go to the hotel, the shower was not only in washroom, shower was everywhere in the hotel. The whole thing was leaking. every room was leaking, and there was a bucket to collect water. And the toilet was full of water. What was the passing through? That was the very high water. This is the reception that would do. Next, early morning we have to start to catch our border crossing. They said you have to start at 4:30 in the morning. So hardly these people fed us at 9:30 at night, and then clean the pots, cook for next morning's breakfast, and then whole night they were awake, and then we started at 4:30 in the morning. Whole team got up. And on the land, one place we see the cultivation, you see, it's near Nyala, and we had breakfast there before coming to the Nepal border. This is and on the way again, we see the green trees, we see the falls, we see the rivers, and our hearts are full of natural things. We were returning home. You see the trees, seeing after 10 days, on 10th of August. You see the falls. One falls were coming so high that it would fall on the road. So the government had protected the road with a cement slab, concrete slab. You see how they have protected it. And how they made the road cutting the forest. The town near the Chinese-Nepal border was so congested, it took a small distance to cross Changmu. The town is called Changmu. It took almost 45 to 1 hour for us to cross. Just you can see, all cars, people moving like that in the place. Finally, we arrived at the hotel. We meet together. After 4:30 in the morning, it's about 8 in the evening, and then crossing the valley of Nepal, eating a lot of dust on the road. It was very dusty, the valley was. And then we meet, and it was all joy. We all came together. By the grace of God, we all were healthy, all were alive, and we all had a grace. And the person on just right is Jyoti Adhikari, the proprietor of our tour, the hotel, and also our tour. The other persons are our team members who had gone with us. They presented us with a DVD and a nice photograph of Kailash, and we spoke them highly and thanked them for their thing. And one of the devotees spoke on my behalf on behalf of the team. This is the group photograph of how many of us had gone, and thus we ended the Kailash trip. After that, 1 or 2 days after that, we all moved to our countries where we lived, Nepal, US, India, or Canada, and you see me here. All this pilgrimage happened by the grace of God, was successful. It was so heavily risky on health, on life. Only one of us couldn't complete the parikrama. When we tested at Darchen after Manassarovar, the oxygen level in his blood, it was 65%. Unless it is 75%, they are not allowed to go. He may collapse any time. So he had to be sent back by the same jeep. One of the 4 land cruisers that had come, one was sent back. Whole night they drove, came to the Nepal border, was admitted in the hospital, and then was flown back to Bangladesh, from where he fly back to United States, his land of his. The pilgrims are done. How this Kailash became the center of pilgrimage. In Narada says in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. The tirthas are made by the pilgrims. Periods of pilgrimage are created by the pilgrims, by the faith. All people through thousands of years in search of Shiva, in search of high thoughts, in search of liberation, they have been going to Kailash. And it has accumulated a huge group of humanity belonging to so many religions with so much of faith through ages. So that had made this Kailash one of the very, very holy and sacred pilgrimage place. Difficult, but once you do, you have achieved the highest of pilgrimage. One of our pilgrim team said it is the PhD of pilgrimage. Like the PhD of learning, the highest of pilgrimage. And they say going to Kailash is holy and sacred. Even listening to the story of Kailash is holy and sacred. And if this listening is associated with seeing with that, we all as if have reached the Kailash. Thank you very much for your patience and listening.